We got sunshine. Making some number 6 shot today. Slide one down. Put one on the warming pot. About every 30 seconds. Yes, I know I'm not using gloves, but I can't do that and work my phone, so I'll just have to wash my hands really good. Don't condemn me. Hope everybody's having a great day today. I'm so pleased that springtime is coming back. It's been a long, cold winter. The last 2 months, our electric bill has been ridiculous. Had so much cold, damp, and lots of rain here lately. It's been crazy. But maybe the worst is over. If you feed this machine at the right time, you'll have a good steady flow of shot coming out. You'll average, for number 6 is you'll average about 125 pounds an hour. I'm running wide open. That's as hot as it can get. Now you notice in these, with this number 6 pot, or let's say a number 5, your lead is not even all the way to the back, because with those number 6 size holes, the lead gets out of there. It doesn't need as much head pressure. If you're running 7s or 8s, or excuse me, 7.5 or 8s, your head pressure is going to be way up here, 3/4 of the way up. So you'll notice the difference. It just takes a lot more weight of the lead to force it through those tiny holes. But this being much bigger, they go through much easier, of course. So that does change. I had 100 pounds left from my melt. I thought I'd get that knocked out today. I've seen some of the guys putting their lead in, and they put too many ingots in. I've seen some of them have 3 or 4 stacked in there. If you have your temperature correct on your burner, you only need 2 ingots at a time. One melting up front and one warming in the back. And as soon as that front one gets melted, just slide that one up. Set another one in there. That keeps you a good steady flow going. If you put too many ingots in there and they get too much lead melted too quickly, then it will overflow into the front and cause your head pressure to get crazy. If that happens, just take you a spoon and just block the hole temporarily until everything gets settled out, and then open it back up. But that is a common mistake that some of the new guys make, is learning how to control their head pressure. If you can keep that stream like that consistent, this is what you get. Notice the distance there, it's about 1/4 of an inch. You got to keep an eye on that too, because if this overflow hole gets blocked, let's say you get some sludge on your oil and it's not mixed up real good, you'll get some sludge and that hole gets blocked, you're not paying attention. This fluid comes up, touches the bottom of that ramp, you're done. You'll get a mess. So pay attention to your distance there. Good morning, Tommy Day. You must have your shot already run today. I switched over to the stove burner, regulator, heat controller. Now, I know I've recommended to a lot of you guys you can just run a toggle switch, and you can, especially with the number 6 pot, because it's pushing so much lead out. But I've started to notice a little bit of too much heat if I'm running smaller shot. So I just decided to go ahead and put a new, I had one already, I just decided to go put a new one on there. And they're about 15 or 16 bucks. They're about twice what a toggle switch costs. So I guess if you're going to build from scratch, you probably should put one on. That way you can turn your heat down a little bit if you need to. Your goal is to just keep this lead no hotter than it has to be. Just hot enough to make everything run good. And I don't use a temperature control, a thermometer. I just know by experience. It should be somewhere around 625 to 650. And I'm sure if I tested this one, that's what it would be, because of just the way it flows. There's a lot of little tricks to this trade, but once you learn all those little tricks, then you always will run good, consistent shot. And it's not it doesn't take you long to get onto it. Some people will start out and they'll make a bad run because they said, well, I did this wrong or I did that wrong, but they figure it out pretty quickly. Morning, David. Good morning, Todd. Matt. Another important little thing I want to talk about too is when you first start out, if it's in cooler weather, now you don't have to do this in the summer, but if it's in this temperature like we're having now, where you have the cooler nights, especially if you keep your coolant in a uncontrolled environment, like I keep mine in my basement, which is heated, but it's still pretty cool sitting back here next to the garage door. So I put a little gas burner under the tank and I turn it on and let it heat the coolant just while the pot's warming up. That's all it takes. It takes what, I don't know, maybe 10 minutes, 8 minutes to get the pot warmed up and starting to run. So we're looking at about that much. That's the correct time for your gas burner to heat your coolant. You don't have to get it hot. You just need to bring it up to about 75 degrees. If you put that hot shot down into that cold coolant, it's going to mess up your shot for the first little while till the shot starts to warm up the coolant. So you'll have some funny looking shot in the bottom of the tank. Then you'll have to pick some of it out, and that's extra work, and time is money. We've got two big shoots coming up this weekend, $25 killers, where they sell the shooters, and it takes 8 outs to put you out of the match. So the match lasts over 2 hours. And it falls on both nights this weekend, Friday and Saturday, which normally it don't because February is a short month. That puts both of those together. I think that only happens once a year. But it's going to be a big weekend. If any of you guys are having any problems with any issues, feel free to message me. I'll do my best to get you on the right track. We're all in this crazy game together. We want to do everything we can to keep our shooting sports alive. I know all the high prices, and I expect the lead will go on up this year more. I don't know what it'll go to, but it's already $65 a bag in our area. I remember back in 1984 when I first started making shot, it was $18 a bag, and we thought it was ridiculously too high at that time. Wouldn't we love to see those days again? Back in the 80s, when lead was sitting everywhere, if a man could see the future, I would have stocked up. Back then, wheel weights were pure wheel weights. I don't know what year they started making zinc and steel and plastic coated, but to my knowledge, everything back then was pure good old lead wheel weights. And you could get them they'd almost pay you to haul them off. But not now. These ingots are about 1.25 pounds a piece. And they melt in 30 seconds. See that little tap? Speeded that shot up. The beauty of this design of shot maker is if there's always going to be dirt involved with your lead process. I don't care what you do, how much you clean it and flux it, you're going to have some black dust in there. And that little black dust will get down in around your drippers. And the beauty of this design is just a little jar will send it out. If one of your drippers stops, usually just a tap will get it going. Now, if you tap it too hard, sometimes it'll disrupt the shot, and two shots will stick together, and they will do some weird stuff when they hit the ramp. They can start sticking to the ramp. They can cause a problem. You keep your little propane torch setting handy, one that lights really quickly, self-lighting, and you just stick it to that ramp and it'll go away. It'll straighten the shot right out. Also, if you get a dripper that gets really stubborn, you can just take your spoon and kind of lightly rake it back and forth across down there, and that'll dislodge the dirt also. Just be gentle with it. And then rake that back and forth a few times, and then tap it, and they'll take right off. Then if that don't work, you can always resort to getting your torch tip cleaner out and reach down in there and feel around until you find that little hole and run it through the hole. You seldom have to do that, but once in a great while you will. Normally just a few taps will jar that black dirt loose and it'll fall right on out. I'm getting a little behind. Running my mouth, I'm not feeding my lead correctly. So you'll have a few drippers stop. See that there? Watch this. A couple little taps, takes that off. Alright guys, I've took up enough of your time. I'm getting down pretty close to being finished here. Appreciate you guys, your all support, and let me repeat, if you have any questions, concerns, just let me know. I'm over and out. Later.